In February of 2009, Jenny Beth Martin home in Georgia was in foreclosure. As an unemployed mother of young twins, Jenny Beth was cleaning houses for money when she, like the rest of us, heard the famous rant from CNBC's Rick Santelli on February 19, 2009. When from the floor of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, he called for the creation of the Chicago Tea Party because of Obama's socialistic health care proposal, now known as Obamacare. This remark is credited by many as the spark that ignited the Tea Party movement. Jenny Beth Martin heard those remarks and took heart and took courage. Soon, she was among 24 people on a conference call that led to the founding of the Tea Party Patriots as we know it today. You may remember our local response here in Redlands on April 15, 2009, when more than 500 patriots, frustrated with Obama's socialism, rallied in downtown Redlands. That moment sparked the creation of the Redlands Tea Party Patriots, now recognized as one of the most active groups in the entire country. Since 2009, Jenny Beth has led an organization that unequivocally has become the most active leading Tea Party movement in the United States. She is the Tea Party Patriots co-founder and president. She is a frequent contributor on Fox News and has authored numerous op-eds in many national publications, including the Washington Times and the Wall Street Journal. And she's going to have to leave right after this meeting because tomorrow she's going to take a red-eye flight out of LAX. She's going to be interviewed by CNN tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. in Washington. In 2016, the Tea Party Patriots played a significant role in Trump's election upset victory. Their achievements, with more than 100,000 volunteers, including many of you, targeted likely Trump voters in Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Ohio. Their activities included 100,000 doors knocked, 2 million phone calls, 100,000 written postcards and letters, and visited 20 states of support. Now, talk is cheap, and I have checks, okay? Every bit of money, even at our level, not a rich guy, counts. So I've got $20 for Cassia Rodis for controller, right? This is my beer money for Constantine. I have a $20 check for Mark Mosier for Secretary of State. This is my Arbor Day beer money. But the next one, I have a $50 check for Jenny Beth or for the Tea Party Patriots Action because all their generosity over years of supporting the Redlands Tea Party Patriots. So it's my honor to bring Jenny Beth up to the microphone, and she's going to be telling you a lot of great stuff. This is the first time we've had Jenny Beth here. We have tried, and our schedules just were unfortunately never in sync, but it's a tremendous honor to have one of the founders of the entire Tea Party movement today, Jenny Beth Martin.
Okay, I'm in California, and I don't think people around the country are actually going to believe that you are as fired up as you are. And let's face it, your senator has really caused a lot of problems and is quite an obstructionist when it comes to confirming Judge Kavanaugh. Do you guys want to see Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court of the United States? Then, if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I want to do a Facebook Live very quickly, and I want you to send a message to Washington, D.C. and around this entire country that there are people who live here in California who want to see Kavanaugh confirmed. So I'm going to start it up, and when I do, I'm going to show all of you, and when I get to that, I want you to cheer very loudly, "Confirm Kavanaugh now." All right, let's practice that a couple times. Confirm Kavanaugh now. One more time. Confirm Kavanaugh now. All right, let me start this. Well, I tried to start it, Kevin. Well, okay, hang on. It thinks that I just did a post, so you'll have to delete that, Kevin. All right, bear with me. I had it ready to go, and it's not there. Because I don't do this very often. All right. Yes. Where is it? Oh yeah, put those up for sure. All right, let me paste those. I don't have the right text, so. Okay, give me just a second. While that's going, I want to tell you something about Kavanaugh. All right. The FBI today has completed their 7th background check into Judge Kavanaugh. He's gone through everything they've thrown at him. He had a 17,000 pages questionnaire, 2 full days of public hearings, actually 2.5 because of what he had last week, a full day of a private hearing, 1,200 follow-up questions. And as of today, he's had 7 background checks, he's had security clearance, 25 years in public service, and we now know everything we can possibly know about the summer of 1982 from his high school calendar and his high school yearbook. None of it came up with any evidence to corroborate the accusations about him of attempted rape, drugging people, gang raping people, or exposing himself to others. And this fiasco goes right to the feet of your senator, Senator Feinstein. Christine Blasey Ford reached out to Senator Feinstein in July. Yet, while the senator helped Dr. Ford get attorneys, she did not go ahead and let the rest of the Judiciary Committee know what was going on. And she could have done so in a way that redacted Dr. Ford's name and protected her anonymity, while also making sure that the committee was able to have time to investigate Kavanaugh in the initial rounds of background checks and during the initial rounds of hearings. All of this was in a process of trying to stop Judge Kavanaugh from being confirmed to the Supreme Court. And now our country is in danger of losing the presumption of innocence. It's in danger of losing the rule of law, due process, the importance of evidence, and that evidence actually matters. All in the sake of destroying this man and preventing him from being on the Supreme Court. And what the Democrats are doing to Judge Kavanaugh right now, it's not just terrible to him personally and to his family, it's a danger to every single one of us. I'm the mother of 15-year-old twins, boy-girl twins, and by the way, that means they're not identical. Just think about that for a minute, they're not identical. I'm concerned about what this could mean to my son later in his life. A week and a half ago, he had friends over, and those friends, the parents of fathers were coming in to make sure that I was going to be there supervising 15-year-olds as they hang out, because they're concerned about what their sons may be accused of later. Normally, when you hit 15, you're starting to let your kids have a little bit of freedom and independence. And right now, parents of boys who are teenagers are thinking twice about that because they don't know what they could be accused of later in their life. That's right, confirm Kavanaugh now. None of this that the Democrats did was designed to find the truth. All of it was designed to obstruct and prevent Kavanaugh from being on the Supreme Court. They simply do not want, never wanted, and will never want Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court. Almost all of the Democrats came out very quickly, some of them as soon as his name was announced, saying they would not vote for Kavanaugh. Yet they wanted the hearings, which that's good. We need hearings when we're confirming a Supreme Court justice. They had him fill out the questionnaires. They had him do the follow-up questions. Then they wanted more hearings. He had 6 background checks from the FBI. They wanted another background check from the FBI. And now they've gone through all of that, and today they're still saying it's not good enough for them. Of course it's not good enough for them because they never intended to vote for him in the first place. It's wrong. And it's time to end this circus. And that's what is going to begin happening tomorrow morning. At 9:30 Eastern Time, which is 6:30 your time, the Senate will be in session. And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said that at 10:30 tomorrow, they will bring a vote to the floor to advance the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court. That will start cloture. There'll need to be 30 hours of cloture before he's confirmed. So hopefully over the weekend, he will be confirmed. How's that coming? Can you do it? All right. Now before I go to the next section, let's do this Facebook Live, and Kevin is thankfully going to help me. He is our director of operations, and I don't know what else. He does everything for us, so he's helping me. All right, so are we live? Great. Hey guys, I'm Beth Martin with Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund, and I'm in California. You might have heard that California has lost all hope because it's such a liberal state. I am here to tell you that that is completely wrong. I'm here with a room full of Californian citizens who want to take back California from the liberal socialist Democrats. And they have a message for their senators, including Senator Dianne Feinstein. Let's tell her what you think about Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Did you hear that? Let's do it one more time so people in Washington, D.C. and all across this country understand what Californians want. So, over the weekend, Brett Kavanaugh should be confirmed to the United States Supreme Court. Then we move to the next 34 days. 34 days. It's only 34 days until our country once again makes a decision at the polls as to which direction we will go. We have, as we did in 2016, we have two very distinct paths ahead of us. We can go back to 2% growth as a new norm, penalties when we choose not to have Obamacare, stifling regulations, IRS being weaponized against groups like ours, the Iran deal, an unsecure border with very few people in Washington, D.C. who understand we want to secure it, bailouts, the destruction of our principles like presumption of innocence. Oh, and by the way, the Democrats want to take away your crumbs. You know, those hard-earned tax dollars that we now have in our tax cut. That's one choice, and the other choice is this. President Trump and his agenda to put America and Americans first. We had withdrawn from the Paris Climate Agreement. We've withdrawn from President Obama's Iran nuclear deal. Our embassy in Israel is now in Jerusalem. NAFTA is now replaced with USMCA. President Trump has worked to secure our borders. He's eliminated a record number of regulations. 22 regulations gone for every one new regulation in place. Those reductions in regulations have freed our businesses across this country to grow and have unleashed the American economy. For those of us who don't want to live under Obamacare, we want Obamacare repealed, we have a little bit more healthcare freedom. The single most hated part of Obamacare, the individual mandate, is repealed. For the first time in decades, we have tax reform. President Trump and the Republican Congress passed historic tax cuts that allowed hardworking Americans to keep more of their hard-earned money. It got rid of that 2% is the new norm growth that we heard from President Obama, and now we have growth at 4%. The stock market is growing, and half the people in America are invested in the stock market, even if they don't think of themselves as investors because of their retirement plans. With 401ks and other pensions, they're seeing that their retirements are growing. In November of 2016, the Dow was at 18,000. Today, it's at 26,000. That's nearly a 50% increase. And that means the value of your money at retirement has increased. For the first time in anyone's memory, we have more jobs in this country than we have people to fill them. We've added 3 million jobs to the economy under President Trump. In fact, on average, President Trump has added 82,000 more jobs per month than President Obama did. And nearly 2/3 of Americans think it's the right time to find a quality job. Only half felt that way under President Obama. For the unemployment is at a record low. Unemployment is at historic lows for African Americans, for Asian Americans, for Hispanics, and for women. It is the lowest it's been in 65 years. All of this is a lot of stats, but what do these stats actually mean to you? What does it mean to the average American when unemployment is so low and the economy is booming? It actually means it's a seller's market. You can sell your labor, and employers will have to pay more to fill the job openings. They'll have to provide better benefits, and you have more choices in where you want to work and the kind of work you want to do. Wages are growing the fastest that they've grown since the Great Recession, and the average hourly wages are rising 2.9% for the past 12 months. And in fact, because of the increases in wages, outside of what you get from the crumbs, as Nancy Pelosi called it, from your tax cuts, the average American household in this country actually is bringing in $1,000 more a year because of the increased wages. That's real money in your pockets. And finally, as we talked about at the beginning, President Trump is filling judicial vacancies all across this country. 1 out of 7 federal judges has been appointed by Trump and confirmed by this United States Senate. We have 26 newly appointed judges to the Court of Appeals, 41 district court judges, 1 Supreme Court justice, Neil Gorsuch, and 1 more who hopefully will be confirmed this weekend. That is an amazing track record of success. But if you listen to the pundits on TV, you would think that President Trump and the Republicans haven't delivered anything for Americans. You would think that the House is completely lost, that the Democrats have already won. You might as well not even vote in November. Just listen to the people on TV. They've got a crystal ball and they know how it's all going to work out. We saw how right they were in 2016, right? The liberals don't care about these positive benefits for Americans. They're fixated on their hatred for Donald Trump. They are determined to impeach him. Congressman Maxine Waters has not been shy about saying this. Yeah, that's what she'd like to happen to any of you in any restaurant where you are, wherever you are around the country. If you support President Trump, she wants you to be shamed and booed everywhere, anywhere you possibly can. She's calling for his impeachment, and she's not afraid to do it.
She's low IQ.
But it's not, hang on, I need water. It's not just Maxine Waters. Even Senator Chuck Schumer recently said, the sooner the better, thank you, when it comes to impeaching Donald Trump. And now, impeaching Trump isn't even enough for the Democrats. They're saying that they want to impeach Brett Kavanaugh when he gets confirmed to the Supreme Court. In fact, today at 4:06 Eastern Time, there was a headline in the Washington Post, and it read, "If Kavanaugh is confirmed, impeachment could follow. Here's how." Former President Obama is in on the action and on the campaign trail now. All of these people have to villainize President Trump because they cannot admit that their policies failed America. They failed the American people. They have to destroy Trump because they have to destroy the very notion that a businessman who's never been elected to public office before in his life could not only have the audacity to run for office, he actually won. They want to crush that notion that that could possibly happen because it disrupts everything that they're used to in Washington, D.C. And the attacks against the president, the investigations, the allegations are nonstop in the mainstream media outlets. It's not just the politicians, and it's not just the news. Celebrities, athletes, actors, they're all in on it. Liberals on the left will try to shame you for your support of President Trump. They will call for socialism, as Jim Carrey recently did. They disrespect our flag and everything our flag represents. Does it surprise you, though? Really? It doesn't surprise me. We're used to this. After all, we're the Tea Party. They used this playbook on us, too. They mocked us. They maligned us. They called us names. They sicked the IRS on us. They did all they could to stop us. But no matter what they did, those of you in this room, we kept going. And that's what we're going to keep doing right now. And I'll tell you what, no matter how much they throw at us, I will not be ashamed, ever, for loving our country and our Constitution and wanting to expand economic freedom for every American. I will never be ashamed of that. And I will keep fighting for a debt-free future, and I will always fight for more personal freedom for every American. And I know that as much as I won't be shamed for it, neither will you. Now, it is a non-presidential election year. And that means that it's going to be harder for the party who's in the White House. So we have to be fair, and we have to acknowledge that. There are many House seats in the toss-up categories. And right now, the chances, well, actually 2 weeks ago, the chances of holding the House were much tougher than they were earlier this year. And if the Democrats get control of the House, we will be fighting impeachment and the endless investigations from Congress rather than continuing to build on all those successes that I mentioned before. So what are we going to do about it? What are you and I going to do? We have 34 days.
Vote for Sean Flynn.
That's one way, and Tim Donnelly and several others. We need to hold the House, and we have to be able to hold the majority in the Senate. And I'd like to grow the majority in the Senate so that we don't have what happened last week where just one or two senators who are supposed to be Republicans can make such a continue to delay the agenda that we want to see enacted. Our job right now is going to be very tough. Pennsylvania's congressional seats were all redistricted. And it's a bit of a fruit basket turnover there. So we're going to lose some seats in Pennsylvania simply because of the redistricting. There are 39 Republican seats in the toss-up category. The Democrats only have 3 seats in the toss-up category. And the Democrats need to flip 24 seats to gain control of the House.
No way.
Yeah, so I'm pointing this at you because we have to understand what we're up against. Now, our super PAC, Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund, has analyzed 85 different races across the entire country, House races and Senate races. We've identified, and most of these are in what you would call the toss-up category, or they're not solid Republican or solid Democrat. We found 6.5 million voters who voted in 2016 and did not vote in the previous 7 elections, meaning they did not vote in the 14 years previous to 2016. And these are people who we've modeled and we believe they are Trump voters. Now, some of these were in places where their turnout was important, and then in some places their turnout was critical and determinative for whether President Trump would win that congressional seat or the Senate, or in the congressional seat or within a state. So there are going to be some, what do you mean by that? Let me explain that just a little bit more plainly. Without these voters, there were places that President Trump would not have won. Now, I'm going to break this down for you just a little bit. There's some places that are not going to surprise you very much. In Pennsylvania, which had not gone red, Republican for president in many, many years, there were 550,000 Trump voters that were 2016 only Trump voters. 550,000. President Trump won Pennsylvania by 44,292 votes. So you see, if those 550,000 people had not come out, he would have lost Pennsylvania by hundreds of thousands of votes. Then the same goes for Wisconsin. There were about 250,000 Trump voters, 240,000. The margin of victory for President Trump in Wisconsin was 22,748. Very, very close there. But those states don't surprise you very much because they're kind of more purple states. Now, in Florida, which is a swing state, President Trump won by 112,911 votes. That's a pretty large margin. But Florida, like California, is a large state. So you would expect it to be a large margin there. We've identified 1.1 million 2016 only Trump voters in the state of Florida. Okay, and then one more that I found it surprising in Florida, mostly because that is such a big number of 2016 only Trump voters. But one more that surprised me, and will explain some things to you, is Texas. And this is going to explain to you a bit more why Ted Cruz is so close with Beto O'Rourke, his Democrat opponent right now. Trump won Texas by 809,179 votes. All right, so let's think about that. 809,179 votes. That's a huge margin. I mean, it's huge, the way that Trump would say it, right? It's almost 1 million votes. The thing is, we've identified 890 2016 only, Trump voters in the great state of Texas. That, I think, is why Ted Cruz is polling so close to Beto O'Rourke. Because there's so many of these people who came out in 2016 to vote for Trump who hadn't voted in 14 previous years. Now, our plan at Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund is to focus on these Trump voters. And we're doing it where Trump was determinative, and then also where we have Tea Party candidates. And even in places where he may not have been determinative, but we've got very strong candidates who are Tea Party candidates. Those are our top priorities. And then, depending on how much more money I can raise, so we have more data of this voter data, we can expand from there. We intend to reach these voters through our text messaging app, and also through phone calls and personalized mail. Now, this isn't new to our super PAC, and in fact, in 2016, and you guys in this room, the Redlands Tea Party did so much of this work. We made 1 million phone calls into Pennsylvania. And remember, we made 1 million phone calls. What did I just say? In Pennsylvania, Trump won by 22,748 votes. We made 1 million phone calls into that state. We knocked on 100,000 doors and visited with voters in those 100,000 homes. We mailed 100,000 pieces of personalized mail to those voters, meaning volunteers like you hand-addressed postcards or letters and put them in the mail and sent them to people in Pennsylvania saying, please vote for Trump. I may not live where you live, but I live in this country and we need your vote. And here's why. We also, in the end, we did 2 million total phone calls, by the way. It wasn't just Pennsylvania. We focused on Pennsylvania first, but we had so many people volunteer that we were able to expand that to Florida, where he won by 112,911 votes, and also Ohio, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. And remember, in Wisconsin, it was 22,748 votes. So, what we need is your help so that we can reach these 6.5 million voters. And here's how you're going to do it. I want you to take out your phone right now. And I want you to please go to your text messaging app. And then in the text messaging app, I've got a very long phone number for you because it's a regular phone number. It's not just a short little 5-digit number. The number is 404-996-1717. So again, that's 404-996-1717. And then all you have to do is put in the word text, T-E-X-T, and send that. And you should get a link as soon as you do that. And that link is going to take you to a page that you can fill out, and all you will, so I'm going to make sure, let me do the phone number one more time for you, just so everyone, because I can tell you're still typing it in. 404-996-1717. It's going to take you to teapartypatriots.org/text. And you want to text, the word that you want to text is T-E-X-T. So to the number 404-996-1717, just put in the word T-E-X-T. You'll get a text message back with a link that takes you to teapartypatriots.org/text. And once you have that, you'll type in your cell phone number, your name, and your email address. And then you will press start texting. So you'll put in your cell phone number, your name, and your email address. After you put in all of that, then you press begin texting. It takes like 5 minutes to get this set up. So, but once you get it set up, I want you to know how to do it, because you can do this while you're waiting in line at the grocery store, or if you're at a doctor's appointment, or you're waiting to pick your kid up in carpool line, or waiting for your dinner, whatever it might be, you can get some work in to get out the vote. Yeah, don't do it right now. But when you do that and you press these things and do begin texting, what will happen after that is that you're going to get one more text message from us, and it will have a link in it. And that is your unique link to do our text messaging app. And it's unique to your phone number. Then it'll take you to a landing page. And when you get to that landing page, what I want you to do, though, please understand, Greg's right, do not do this part right now, because the people we have loaded are in Texas, and it's 10:37 p.m. in Texas. We want them to vote our way, not get angry at us and not vote our way. So there'll be a button, it's a red button, and it says send a text. You press the red button, you send a text, it opens up your text messaging app. You press the up arrow or the airplane, the paper airplane, and send that text. Then you go back to your browser, send another text, send it from your text messaging app, and you just keep going back and forth between your text messaging app and your browser. Now, I do want to let you know one thing about this. It's going to text from your phone number. So the voter is going to get your phone number. But you have their phone number, so it kind of is fair there. You may get some responses. If you get responses and don't know how to respond to them, we have directions further down that you can give us the response and we'll help you get an answer for it. But we've done it this way for two reasons. One, if you send it, we don't have to pay for every single text message that's sent. So it saves us money, and we're a grassroots organization. We might be nationwide, but we're still a grassroots organization, and our average donation is $43. So we do the best we can to maximize those dollars. But the other reason is this. A lot of you have probably seen, heard, I talked to some of you tonight, that there's some weird things going on with social media apps and Google and the way your mail may be processed when you're conservative. And it certainly seems like there's an attempt to silence some of our speech from companies out of Silicon Valley. We don't want to make our text messaging app dependent on them, because if they decide for whatever reason that they don't want us to be able to use it anymore, they could shut it down. And that doesn't help us, so we found a way to do this on our own and get around them. But that does mean that the voter will have your phone number. But if you were making a volunteer phone call to the voters to get out the vote, like they talked about doing, Jan from the Republican Party needs volunteers to make phone calls, they'd also have your phone number that way too. Okay, so I just want you to know how to use that. We also have mail, so you can hand address mail if you don't like making phone calls. We have these voters, not all of them have cell phone numbers. So we still need to reach them either through their cell phones, their landlines, or with good old-fashioned mail. And we have the volunteer opportunity for all of that. I'm moving towards the end, and I'm getting close to being done. I told you the wonderful things that we've had from President Trump. Told you the dangers of what we're facing if Democrats win control. And that things are very close right now, and we have a lot of work to do. I'm going to give you some more stats, but I think these stats are important. Only 2 times since 1982 have Democrats won enough seats to take back control of the House of Representatives. One was in 2006, and they won 30 seats that year. And another was in 2008, and they won 26 seats that year. In both of those cases, the NBC Wall Street Journal generic ballot poll had the Democrats up by 15 points. And that's an important poll to understand. It's the NBC Wall Street Journal poll. apparently it's kind of the gold standard when it comes to the generic polling. There's going to be one more of those polls that comes out in October. Most analysts believe that because of the way turnout works in midterm elections, Democrats have to be up by 7 just to have a level playing field with Republicans. That's because during midterm elections, the turnout tends to be more conservative and lean Republican. The last time the NBC Wall Street Journal generic poll ran was in September, on September 16th to the 19th. And the generic ballot was 52 for Democrats and 40 for Republicans. So 12-point difference, and it was up from 8 points in the August poll. Now, there'll be another one of those polls that comes out. We're at October 4th. It'll probably be another 2 weeks, roughly, when it comes out again. There are some things to be encouraged about. In the last, since Tuesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there have been some generic ballot polling that has come out, but these are not the gold standard I just mentioned. This is not the NBC Wall Street Journal poll. On Tuesday, the Economist YouGov poll had the Democrats at a 7-point advantage. The Quinnipiac poll was yesterday. I'm sorry. The Quinnipiac poll was Tuesday, and that was a 7-point advantage. Then the Economist YouGov poll was yesterday, and that was a 5-point advantage. So Tuesday, 7-point, yesterday, 5-point. Today, the Investor Business Daily, and I want you to remember, okay, this still is not the one that I mentioned that we need to be watching, but these are trends, and when 3 polls come out like this, it's something to pay attention to. It had the Democrats up, but only up by 2 points in the Investors Business Daily. So the point about that is that while about 3 weeks ago, everything that the left was saying, and the media and the mainstream news and the Democrats, they were all just making you think that there was momentum nonstop for the Democrats. And I don't disagree with that. Their momentum from election night 2016, if you had to take a scale of 0 to 100 for their momentum and their energy and their enthusiasm level, they hit 100 on election night. They wavered between about 90 and 100 since then. I mean, Hillary Clinton couldn't even come out and give a speech on election night. She was so distraught. Possibly. She would not want to be in front of a Senate confirmation now after that. So it's been that high the whole time. They've been as high as they can go and hovered right around there for almost 24 months. We were excited, and then we got back to work because we have families and jobs, and our side won, which means you get to be on the offense and you don't have to be on defense so much. But if you kind of looked in July and August, I think you would have had reason to be a little bit concerned because we did not have the enthusiasm that we needed. And that poll from August shows that the Democrats were up by 8, and then in September they were up by 12. Now, I think it's getting closer. I think the Democrats have overplayed their hand when it comes to what they're doing to Brett Kavanaugh. We'll see, but the reason I think they've overplayed it is because we are enthused now. We understand what's at stake. We remember how bad it was under them, and if we couldn't remember, all we had to do was watch that hearing last week. We don't want that for the next 2 years for our country, and that's exactly what it'll be like for the next 2 years if they get control. With Brett Kavanaugh, with Donald Trump, with people who are associated with Donald Trump. So, it's getting closer, and the good thing is, the thing to know is that this is, the election is not over by a long shot. No way whatsoever. Heidi Heitkamp, she's down 12 points. She's not going to be reelected. I really don't think she's going to be reelected. Marsha Blackburn, who was polling below the Democrat earlier in the summer, she's now outside of the margin of victory. She's got a 48 to 43 victory, or not victory, but polling advantage. Bill Nelson is in a dead heat with Rick Scott in Florida. Kirsten Sinema is in a dead heat with Martha McSally in Arizona. And Manchin is leading in West Virginia, but he's kind of in a catch-22, because you see, if he votes for Kavanaugh, he probably will get reelected. But if he votes for Kavanaugh, then the Democrats realize it would be a bipartisan confirmation, and they don't want that. So he's got to figure out what he's going to do still. In California, so I talked about how important Pennsylvania is because of the fruit basket turnover, and we talked about Texas. Texas is important, by the way, not just because of Ted Cruz, but because there are also House races in Texas that are toss-up races right now. And if Cruz loses, I think we have every reason to believe those will flip to Democrat as well. So we have to hold Texas. Here in California, you're a blue state. There's no question about it. You're a blue state. And I'm not saying we don't want to take California back, because we absolutely do. There are 5 seats in California that are toss-up right now. California 10, 25, 39, 45, and 48. That would be Denham, Knight, an open seat in 39, Waters, and Rohrabacher. Yes, so then we have other seats. We do have other seats, like what you're talking about with Sean Flynn. We've got one that's a Republican seat that's leaning Democrat, one that is a Republican seat that's leaning Republican, and then 2 more that are Republican seats that are likely Republican. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seats in California that we need to hold on the Republican side. So your seat is very important, because when you think about Pennsylvania, there's a lot at risk in Pennsylvania, and then there's a lot at risk here in this state. And we've got to do everything we can to help hold those seats in your state right now. Oh, and by the way, I looked something up. In California, there are 1,075,000 of those 2016 only Trump voters. 1,075,000. All right, 34 days. Many pundits say it can't be done. I say there's too much at risk for it not to be done. We didn't start this modern day Tea Party movement because we thought it would be easy. We knew it would be hard. We did not stay in it after the IRS targeted us because we were happy and enjoyed that. We stayed in it because we were determined and because we love our country. We want what's best for our country, and we want what's best for our fellow Americans, what's best for their families, and what's best for their futures. In the next 34 days, I'm going to do all I can to hold the House of Representatives and to grow the majority in the Senate. I am committed to working tirelessly and leaving no stone unturned when it comes to doing what I'm capable of to contribute to this election and to victory on November 6th. Our values, the Tea Party values, personal freedom, economic freedom, and a debt-free future. Our country and our Constitution, they deserve that level of support in the next month and a half. And no matter what the results are on Election Day, and I hope and pray for victory, and I'm working tirelessly for victory, no matter what the election results are, when I put my head down on that pillow that night, I'm going to know I did everything I could to make a difference. Will you join me? Let's do this. We need to take back California, and we need to save our country. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
As I said, Jenny Beth has got to leave immediately. We won't have any time for questions tonight, but we so appreciate, one, you coming out here. Two, she's going to be on the radio, United IE Radio, this Saturday, 4 p.m. And we will have instructions on the Tea Party Patriots, redlandsteaparty.net website for the texting program. So please do that. It's too easy not to do.